In AD 775, Emperor Constantine V died mid-campaign against the Bulgars. His long reign not only carried on his father Leo III's work by stabilizing the frontiers and revitalizing the institutions, but also saw Roman forces go on the offensive against Bulgaria and the Caliphate. Now the torch passed to Constantine's son, Leo IV the Khazar, the first true Porphyrogenitos, born in the purple chamber his father had built with his Khazar wife Chichak. But Leo was every bit as Roman in ruling the empire. However, his half-brothers, 5 pampered princes from Constantine's Roman third wife, Eudokia, were determined to make Leo's reign as hard as possible and claim the throne for themselves. For Leo, securing legitimacy was crucial, and he would maintain the army's loyalty through military success and iconoclast policy. Yet, unlike his father, Leo took a more moderate and conciliatory approach toward his enemies. After the Franks destroyed the Lombard kingdom, Desiderius' son Adelchis fled to Constantinople, where he received shelter and was made a Roman patrician. Coincidentally, that same year, Al-Mansur, the caliph from Constantine's reign and founder of Baghdad, died. And just as Leo, son of Constantine V, ascended to the Roman throne, Al-Mahdi succeeded his father Al-Mansur. Though a Roman envoy named Tarat was sent to congratulate the new caliph, Al-Mahdi would go on to play a more active role in Arab strikes against the empire. Immediately, Commander Abbas ibn Ali raided into the Anatolian borderlands. The Arabs captured a cave called Kassin in Cappadocia and reached as far as Ancyra. The Romans, not idle, counterattacked and sacked the fortress city of Samosata. Although suffering from tuberculosis and unable to lead the army himself, Emperor Leo did not neglect the military. He continued his father's reforms, strengthening both the imperial tagmata and provincial themata. In doing so, he secured the loyalty of the powerful thematic strategoi, who now effectively carried the empire's defense, while safeguarding the position of himself and his infant son, Constantine VI. In this context, the strategoi came to the capital and urged Leo to make Constantine co-emperor. Combined with the emperor's successful public relations with all the other classes of Roman society, the populace swore to recognize no ruler other than Leo and his son. He then elevated all his half-brothers to the rank of Caesar or Nobilissimus, yet they remained ungrateful. Later, Caesar Nikephoros was accused of conspiring with some mid-ranking Roman nobles. Leo tonsured and exiled them to Crimea. In the chaotic post-Lombard Italian landscape, famine drove many to sell their own into the hands of Byzantine slave traders in Campania. Offended by such practices, Pope Hadrian intervened, burning several slave ships, an early sign of the widening rift between the Italians and the Eastern Romans. In an ironic twist, Khan Telerig of Bulgaria, the very man whose trickery had precipitated Constantine V's lethal final campaign, was exiled by his own people and sought refuge in Constantinople. Leo gladly baptized him and made him a Roman patrician, just as he had done for the Lombard prince. The following summer, the Syrian Arab general Thumama ibn al-Walid led a raid against the Romans, returning with many captives. Around the same time, he may also have instigated a rebellion in Dabiq. Again, the Romans would not sit around idly. The royal strategos of Leo's father, Michael Lacanodrakon of the Thracian, raised the largest Roman army of the century and launched a major attack into Abbasid Syria. All the themata led by strategoi, Artabasdos of the Anatolikon, Tatsatis of the Bouchelarion, Baristerotzes of the Armeniakon and Gregorios of the Opsikion besieged Germanicaea. It is said that the Romans were on the verge of capturing the city when Al-Mahdi's uncle, Isab Ali, bribed Lacanodrakon to abandon the siege and pillaged the countryside instead. The Romans seized much loot and took many Syrian Jacobite prisoners. Thumama ibn al-Walid came to intervene from Dabik, but the Roman army decisively defeated him, killing 5 emirs and 2,000 Arabs. Leo welcomed his victorious generals with joy, rewarding them with a well-deserved triumph. Following his father Constantine's policy, the captured Jacobites were settled in Thrace to help repopulate the borderlands devastated by the Bulgars. The Romans in the east were not the only ones troubled by the Arabs. In Italy, the patrician of Sicily established a base at Gaeta in Campania to counter Arab threats and, in part, to sway southern Romans away from the allegiance of Pope Hadrian. Enraged by Roman victories in Syria, the Caliph ordered a large retaliatory strike under the command of Hassan ibn Qutayba, who advanced as far west as the Lion. Roman armies countered Abbasid aggression with Fabian tactics. The strategoi fortified outposts, scorched the land, and used mobile contingents to harass and disperse the invaders. Hassan's forces lasted 15 days at the Lion before running out of supplies and retreating. On the way back, they attacked Amorion. This too ended in failure, and the Arabs evacuated Anatolia entirely. Once again, the Roman thematic defensive system demonstrated its value. Seeking revenge, Al-Mahdi ordered Hassan to persecute Christians in Syria, resulting in thousands of people tortured in Emesa. Taking military matters into his own hands, Al-Mahdi led a large army to Dabik. This formidable army was then entrusted to the Caliph's 14-year-old son, Harun al-Rashid, who invaded the Armeniakon Thema and captured the fort of Semaluos in the Bukelarion Thema. Harun ordered Thumama to continue operating in western Anatolia before returning home. Michael Lacanodrakon confronted and defeated this detachment. In Constantinople, Patriarch Niketas died, and Leo appointed Paulos of Cyprus, a man known for his iconophile sympathies. As a moderate iconoclast, Leo likely chose Paulos to reconcile the Roman people. His wife, Empress Irene of Athens, was also an iconophile, though this was difficult for him to accept. When Leo discovered 2 icons hidden in her pillowcase, he realized many cultures secretly venerated icons. He chastised Irene and punished the others severely. Later that year, the emperor finally succumbed to his tuberculosis and died at the young age of 30. However, in light of the latest scandal, it is a possibility that Irene was implicated in the untimely death of her husband. Leo IV had the potential to become as brilliant as his father and grandfather, and in his short reign, he already demonstrated his competence. Since Heraclius, he was the only emperor to have lost no land to the Arabs, and his generals won almost every engagement. Now the high expectations of the iconoclast military men, the most fervent supporters of the Isaurian family, fell upon the child emperor Constantine VI, with his mother Irene to be acting as regent.